Hi, it's Laura again at Hyperstamper. Thanks for joining me. Today's antique junk journal is a beaut. It's a large book. It is 7 by 10, which is a really good size. And this is a beautiful book from 1899. And I just love these old children's storybooks. They are very popular and for good reason. Look how this was loved. And this little image here of two girls, and they're putting flowers up on this portrait of William Shakespeare. I love the framing of it. It's gorgeous. I love that the gold around the outside of the lettering is still there. When I received this book, or when I found it, it had zero spine. So there's some remnants of a spine. That is what was left of the spine there. So I put it back in the journal. But it has the original back on it, which is also very worn, but it's two little children at a shop. Now, I've just added some matching ribbons here, and then I've got some vintage crochet. So let me take you on a tour of this beautiful book filled with antique ephemera and vintage ephemera and all the pockets and tucks, and there are many, many of them are filled with lots of surprises from yesteryear. So this is the original first cover plate, and then this here is the original first page. I had to cut it down because it's so brittle. I had to reinforce it and make it smaller so it wouldn't snap off. And this was published in Chicago, and the reason I knew it was an American book is because favorite is spelled with just an O and not an OU. This is from an early 1900s Birds of North America book. And even though it looks brand new and glossy, it is a really, really old plate, and it's double-sided and spectacular. And then we go into here, and I have this very pleasant postcard from about 1905. And again, this was one of those cards where people could buy, it was like a glue and glitter. And they would buy a pen with glue and then sprinkle glitter on it. It says, "Best wishes from Lottie Bates, Cambridge, Iowa." And that's pretty cool. And I've seen these from all over the world. And it's just a really fun historic piece there. And I love this Christmas card at Christmas. Look at that, from Fred and I think it's Nellie. And you can actually open it up. There we go. And journal on the inside. And that is from the 40s. It's just a really fun piece. You can reuse it, send it to somebody who loves vintage things. And this is from 1968, the Funny Bones game. Do you remember that? I just aged myself. And this is just a great 1930s piece here that I turned into a journaling card. Really fun clusters. That paper there is from the 1800s. And this is the best, I think, the best piece in the book. And it is sent from a gentleman to his lady friend, Ida Merritt, in Illinois. And I've kept the original letter in here, July 19th, 1905. And it's just he wasn't very eloquent in his writing. So it's an awkward kind of little letter where he's, I think, trying to woo her a bit and touch base with her because he works out of town, as many men did, and they would write their letters back home to their sweethearts. But it's a really sweet little piece of history as well. And this is just another one of those wonderful handwritten thesis papers that you can use in your clusters or put it somewhere in your journal or just enjoy it. And this is just a fantastic vintage 75-year-old page. Look at that. Isn't she awesome? And I added an antique book page on the back that has some original writing on it. And this is a 100-year-old page from Alice in Wonderland. And it's got this great original artist's print on there. And this is another one of these wonderful old makeshift scrapbooks. So again, when somebody couldn't afford a scrapbook, because they would have been expensive, they would cut out things and paste them inside of a school book. And that is what this person did. So there's the school book, and then they've put different little articles in here. And this is, I guess, they thought this was a funny little baseball thing. And they've written on here about batters and foul balls, and it's just really great. I love that it has a story behind it. And I always wonder, what was the little person who made that like, and were they excited about that, pasting their things into their workbook? sort of like I do with my journals, pasting other things inside of another book. That's kind of cool. There is a hand typed, old-fashioned typewriter research paper, 1800s, and then that is from the 20s. And I just made this little flip-up book here using antique papers for journaling and put some vintage Monopoly money on there. And then one of Stacy's Maple Grove dairy receipts from the 50s. And then down here, it just keeps going and going, right? Oh, back here is a 1950s Trixie book. Vintage paper on the back, so you can journal on there as well. Love, love, love the illustrations. Oh, and that page is from my 1949 Raggedy Ann book, long since made into a junk journal. I have a few more Raggedy Ann books. Maybe I'll make one soon. That was really popular. And down here, I used the spine of a book called Greyfriars Bobby, little tiny terrier there. And that is a 1938 flinch card and a wonderful little vintage mini playing card. 2 little kittens on there. Oh, cute. Oops, they go in this little pocket. So a lot going on here, and then a lot going on here too. Another one of these great palmistry books, which is the art of palm reading, and that is The Hand of Sir John Lubbock. How about that? Dun, dun, dun. And this is a wonderful check. It's from the Wiles Motor Company, 1958. I think that's 58 or 28. It's 58, obviously. Look at the car. Yeah, so a sum of $156. I just love all the stamps on it. It's just wonderful. Do people even write checks anymore? I guess they do. I can't remember the last time I wrote a check. It's more Monopoly money to journal on. And this wonderful, look at this woman in front of this giant palm tree in her pretty skirt. So the skirt tells me that this is probably from the 50s. And again, that's the spine from this book. And I made a little antique paper flower. And this is from 1937. Roman numerals down there. And one of these wonderful Stickum books that I use quite often, although I'm running low on them. Look at how sweet that is. And they would have cut out the little pictures and pasted them into the matching spot on the images in the book. This is from 1948. And there's a little more of this book to come down here, but I love this one. Look at the Marie Antoinette era. Look at these beautiful costumes that they wore. The muff. This is the interior spine of another antique book, but it was the perfect size. More Raggedy Ann there. Vintage dictionary page. And I just really love this, The Joys of Life from a vintage book, and these hilarious advertisements on the other side. It's from the 70s. And that's just a really great image. And then up here, I've got a little antique transit ticket. And over here is another one of these hilarious parenting books from the 40s. Look at the little jail pen there. That would not pass safety regulations now, would it? And this is just a wonderful 1930s set of stamps. And I didn't attach it because it's beautiful on both sides. If you like stamps and authentic, real ephemera with color. And oh, it's just, imagine who sat down and licked those stamps and put them on there and sent it off to another country from Switzerland. There's the 1940s children's book page. Story of her life and work. There's an early 1900s plate there, little duck. And this is a great 1920s plate for the very little people. And that's a little poem about a brook. More ducks here. And this is a whole signature out of a little prayer book. And it was falling apart, this book. I didn't rip it apart, but I think it's pretty special. And it's from the 1800s. This is also from the 1800s. It's pocket down here. And it was from a veterinarian book. And this is just from a vintage book. It's just nice and colorful, fun little plate there. People making a dollhouse. And then this here is another one of these hilarious 1950s recipe books. More gelatin salads. Ew, ew. I mean, yum. Tuna loaf. Yes. So have fun with those. I don't know if I'd recommend you make those recipes. This I just love. Again, here's another new mom in the 40s who apparently has time to paint her nails and wear these beautiful outfits, have her hair done. I love the diaper pins. It's just awesome. Just cracks me up. Here is that book that I've used so many plates from with all the different costumes of the era. And that is from 1948. And I got so much use out of that book. I'm very excited to have had that. And if I find another one ever, I will scoop it up so fast. Vintage botanical page. This is actually a page out of a 1955 stamp collector's book. And this is one of these gentleman letter writer pages from the 1800s. And this one is how to write a letter for somebody who is of nobility and gentry, a duke or princess. Who writes a letter to a princess? Who is princes of the blood royal and to the royal family. Wow, that's pretty cool, right? If you needed a book to teach you how to write to the king and queen, then you're pretty well to do. Some fun clusters here. Another vintage or almost antique stamp down here. And there's a little 1920s snap card again. Guaranteed rust proof or your money back. Here's the Song of Solomon, lovely 1956 page. And this is from 1904, this page here. And it's got a lovely image here of some geese. And this came from that awesome vintage Trees of America book. I love that they have the picture of the bark there. More vintage song sheets. And this came from a 100-year-old children's exercise book. And this is what they found in their yesterdays. I just thought that was fun for a journal. So there's space on the back of that. And I love that advertisement. More children's book pages here. Look at how sweet that one is from the 40s. I just love it so much. Early 1900s. And then this is a great music education piece, teaching pieces of unequaled merit. Unequaled merit. And it's so thick and wonderful. You can do lots of fun things with that page. And then we have these two little cuties on their horse pulling a little cart and a 1950s doily making sheet. And look at the last advertisement on the back, advertising other books in the series. So again, I hope you love it as much as I loved making it. You can find this at hyperstamper.etsy.com. Please subscribe, leave me a comment, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.